What you sat on is obviously eroded limestone, which one time was kind of a limestone block. Surrounded by the fence, which goes all the way around there, is Scar Close Nature Reserve, which also has limestone pavement as its base kind of material. Now, when you go inside there, you can see it's very productive. There's small trees in there, plenty of vegetation. But outside here is more or less devoid of bare limestone pavement. Why do you think that is?
Grazing.
Because one is grazing and two, grazing by sheep. That is a total effect of continuous grazing by sheep on a limestone pavement, and obviously weather excluded, vegetation grows, it's totally ungrazed. What you're going to do first of all is to do two things. You're going to first of all do a very quick look at a number of different plant species you find. You don't need to key them down at all, different types. I simply compare the overall number of plants here to what you find next door in the nature reserve. Have a look at the amount of fragmentation of this limestone pavement. See if you can find any rudimentary soil, in inverted commas, trying to form on the surface. Any evidence of recent soil formation or indeed soil loss, and also on any trees trying to grow up to the limestone itself. Now what you sat on now, what you see on the surface, is called the clint, and those little depressions between, as it were, the blocks and the clint are called grags. What you're going to do next door there is measure certain parameters on the clint and indeed the grag. When you go up there, you're going to choose down this grag for ourselves. You're going to do four things with it. Measure the depth of the grag using either the meter rule or the measuring tape. You're going to measure the light intensity at the bottom, halfway up and at the top. Relative humidity at the bottom, halfway up and the top. Temperature of the air at the top, and if possible, question mark, soil depth. That's what we're going to do down the grag. Okay? At the same time, we'll find out what species are growing actually down those grag. There will not be many species growing down those grag. Mainly, I suppose, ferns, the old flowering plant, and one of the moss species. So you won't find the diversity found this morning of plants found on the limestone, or indeed on the Castle Future. So that's the actual flint and grag experiment. Again, estimate the abundance as far as possible using the quadrant. If not possible, try and just estimate it without the quadrant. So that's the first point, down the grag. You're then going to up the top of the flint and measure on it light intensity, humidity and temperature on the surface. Okay? To get species on the flint. Then we're going to go over in the wooded area, which contains ash, hazel, and do a similar exercise, but this time look at the species only down the clints and measure on the surface light intensity, humidity and temperature under, as it were, the densest cover. So what you're comparing basically are species down the grag, in the woodland, those in the open. You're comparing grazed versus ungrazed. You're comparing the parameters on the top of the clint in the woodland with that outside on the exposed area for temperature, humidity and light intensity only. If you find any soil attempting to form on the surface, you can measure its pH. You cannot measure pH down the grag. It's too far down to it. Okay? What we're going to do inside the woodland. And also you can work out possibly that the age of those trees by measuring the circumference rest height of a selection of 10 trees of the same species, not different species, is, okay, put it in the formula, bottom of the page, we can work out the radius, circumference, and eventually the height of the tree with that simple trigonometry formula. So we're doing inside the